Let's touch on another big one, design for quality. So basically, all that we've been discussing with DFM and DFA really does help with quality, right? Maybe we can bundle together design for quality and design for testing, right? So
Correct.
Things that we've mentioned before, such as using fewer parts, fewer fasteners, making assembly easier, mistake proofing the assembly operations, and so on. All of that goes directly into better quality. And I think that's rather obvious. Also, when you do design for manufacturing and you wonder, okay, can we make that at the required quality level? Very often I notice designers are kind of surprised. So, they come to us, and the most common example, it comes up like at least once a month, is I want to have this metal piece, metal part, and I want the surface to be anodized. Like, okay, and it's going to be relatively high volume, so let's do casting. Let's die cast this piece of aluminum, for example. And then, okay, and then it's going to be porous. It's not going to be great with anodizing. There's going to be an issue here, right? The yield is going to be low, meaning that there's going to be a lot of defects, probably, right? So maybe that's something we need to step back a bit and reconsider, and maybe change the kind of finishing, maybe change the process to get something closer to what you want, right? And there's a lot of these trade-offs that come up, and the earlier you think about them, the fewer issues and the more straightforward your development process, right?
But also the procedures and processes, training the teams and making sure everyone understands what they're supposed to be doing is also part of that quality as well. Inspection process, an auditing process, qualifying the suppliers, for example, and making sure that the parts that you receive from your suppliers are tested and qualified before you put it in your process. So assurance of knowing what you're doing is important, because if you have doubts whether this part has been tested or not, boy, that could throw a wrench in your whole design. Yeah, I mean, just simple things like that, just a doubt. So it's very important that as a checklist on the quality side, you're checking with your team and you're saying, hey, you're designing this. Have you checked if the supplier is a qualified supplier? Who's using it? Who are their customers? Have you been to their factory and audited them? Are they capable of producing the volumes that we're looking for? Do they have qualified test teams? How do they test it? Did you even ask for qualification test report? I mean, simple questions from quality manager, from the team in the team meetings, really generates huge amount of discussions around what needs to be done. Because a lot of times, especially engineering teams, are so busy with their designs and schedules, they really don't even think about quality. And I mean, this is the true thing. It happens all the time. That's why you have a quality manager to kind of as a remind the team that you have to do this, because if you don't, we're going to be in big trouble. So yes. I think that a lot of times some companies, at least in the past, have overlooked quality, especially like brand new companies that they're just like startups and so forth. They don't even hire quality teams or reliability team for quite a while, right? That. But I think it's a huge mistake. In fact, quality and reliability teams should be in right up front. Why? Because the impact of them, if they're not there, will show in the field later. And this has happened all the time. Next thing you know, after 2 years, the startups are hiring quality director. Why? What happened? Well, we have shipped several products and we have all kinds of issues in the field and we don't know how to fix it. Well, if you hired me way up front, then you wouldn't have this problem.
Yeah, right. Better late than never. I mean, but if you do it earlier, it's going to save you a lot of money. Yes. And this is really about design, because who picks the component suppliers typically is the designers.
Exactly.
And they need to at least ask the right questions to see
Yes.
the difference between a supplier that will deliver them 10 parts that will make their prototype work versus a supplier that will deliver 10,000 parts
Right.
with high quality. Is very,
Exactly.
very different.
Very
Yeah,
different.
absolutely.